Okay, everybody, how's everyone doing on this evening? It was a beautiful day today, sunny. I just couldn't get enough of it. But of course, you're on the Rush Show, and I definitely have an interesting show for you coming up. I'm just waiting on my guests to come in, and this can happen when you're doing podcasts, but that's all right. I definitely can get with that. But we just want to say hello to everybody out there who's been listening. Now, a couple of weeks ago, actually, I should say a couple of weeks ago, I decided I was doing a lot of boxing stuff, and I kind of wanted to mix it up and do some, have some artists come on, actors, musicians. That's kind of like my background, and also, I'm a fan of boxing. So I had last couple of weeks, I had Roger Alves, I had Henry Covey, Frank Slaughter come on from Vegas. He was Mayweather's youth summer boxing coach. It was getting really, to the point where I just had to cater to it, and I said I'm going to do it for everybody because they've been so great. A lot of these boxers have stories. Well, here's the interesting one. My guest who's going to be coming on has he's not just a boxing coach, he's also an actor. He's a fellow actor. And what I'm excited about is that him and I recently had an opportunity to do something, and that was really great. So here it is that two things kind of met, right? Boxing world, performing. And I mean, if you think about it, it is performing anyways, when boxers are performing on stage. So you add that together, and what do you have? So what I'm going to do right now while I'm waiting for them to come in is I'm going to actually share a video with everybody now. I'm going to share this. This is coming from YouTube. I actually stopped by the studio, and at this studio that I stopped in, and I got right now, this is exactly what I'm looking for right now. And I got one of my guests is coming in. His Rocky right now. Let's pull him up. We're going to add him to the
what's
screen.
happening?
Rocky, how you doing? See,
what's up, man? What's up?
I knew you would come into the ring, and I know I wasn't going to throw in the towel at all, man. We're not throwing in the
towel. No. I'm here with Brian. Brian's the motivator. That's why he's running. Brian's the man. He's my boss.
How special can I get here, man? That both of you come from the studio now. You jump in from the studio on the show. I thought you guys were going to be sitting in this nice backdrop, in your house, leaning back in the chair and all this fancy stuff.
We're working, man. Well, yeah, we ain't got it like you. We're over here.
You ain't got it like me, man. You like my
we got the gym. The gym's open for another half an hour. We ain't got no studio here, bro. We'll build one. But you send us a check. We'll do whatever you want. We'll get the chairs. We'll do whatever you want to do. Where should we be? I mean, we can go upstairs. We can go upstairs and sit in a chair in the ring.
I'll tell you. You know what? Let's go sit in the ring. Can you please go sit in the ring? That's going to make this interview
Brian, where's that black chair?
Go ahead and sit in the middle of the ring.
Wait a minute. You got to bring your stuff, don't you?
Oh, folks, this is going to be a lot of fun, man. This is getting out of here now.
We're upstairs, boys. Take over.
I can't believe it. Here we go. They're going upstairs. I went there yesterday. I got some footage that I'm actually going to run for everybody so they can see. This is in Falmouth, everybody. This is at in Falmouth. And it's let me tell you what we're
going to use the stools here.
The studio is incredible, man. This is a great studio. If I can remember the number.
We're going to go in front of the American flag.
Okay, 621.
We got red and blue chairs. You got Brian. You got Rocky here.
Oh man, look at you guys getting all comfortable. All right. First thing I want you to tell me is what's the address that you're coming from again?
Get this going here. We got it.
And we can pan around the room if anybody.
Yeah, we'll see. What's the
we
address?
Could pan around the room if someone wants to see it.
Yeah, Brian, we can do that. What is it?
610 East Falmouth.
610. I'm saying 21.
610
East
Falmouth Highway. Falmouth, Mass.
Place. First thing I want to say right off the bat, because I want to let everybody know you have a most amazing gym, and I'll tell you, clean gym, just like you said Paul to describe. I went in there, man, and I was blown away. What a beautiful gym, and what a beautiful gym for Falmouth. So I want everybody to know that. Let's start off. Let's start off with let me just let everybody know, Brian McClutchin. You talked so much yesterday and told me some really interesting things. You a former boxer. You were a sparring boxer for a professional sparring boxer. Let our audience know about that.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up a bit.
I'm sorry. Go ahead and tell me about your professional sparring history. All right, we're gonna have a few little interruptions there, but we should be able to get through. Guys, you might, if you can hear me, you might have to work your way downstairs because it might be a little bit the signal might not be able to.
Yeah, we're gonna go outside.
Are you back on there? Yeah, go ahead and do that. Go outside. I'm gonna run a video anyways. While you guys are doing it, I'm gonna run yesterday's video. Yeah, go outside. I'm gonna run the video in a few so audience can see it. Don't worry, audience. They're gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and run this video here. Give me a second. We're gonna share this so you guys will actually see. You can actually see what was going on yesterday at the gym. So give me a second. We're going to run this. So if everybody can wait just for a minute, I'm going to load this up. I'm going to show, here it is, yesterday's video. All right. So I'm running it now. Everyone's going to see this. Right now, as I told you guys, we're at Rocky's gym. We're in Falmouth. We're going to take a little walk inside. I promised you guys we'd have some footage of this. Let me get the volume. We're definitely going to see what he does.
Welcome to Rocky's gym.
Yesterday's video.
East Falmouth, home of the champions. My cousin Kevin over here behind the desk. He's going to be holding it down tonight from 4 to 9.
Oh, that's me.
Problem here.
That
Problem solved. Over here, we got the areas. We got some of the guys here and girls coming in here doing their thing.
That's my head. I better get that.
Go get a little bit of the beauty over here. Get the beauty. You see they're doing all the cable machines. Yeah, we got Stevie in the house. Stevie's got, he's a long life president. Yeah, look at Stevie. Stevie don't play. We got
Selling it. Fucking
guys over here doing their benching. This area here basically is a freeway area. We got the squat rack. Don't forget July 16th, 17th, we're doing the Randy Peters powerlifting competition right here at Rocky's gym. So we don't play.
So we're still showing the video, guys. So hold on.
We don't play, baby. Okay,
hold on. You can see the video?
Yes, sir. And we should be all set now. We're out of the building.
Can you hear Rocky?
Yep.
Excellent.
We gotta be outside.
All your cable
All right,
machines,
excellent. I'm gonna catch you guys in a minute.
selectorized machines here. We also sell drinks back here. You know, for all your thirsty people, we get the C4, muscle mounts, vitamin waters. I'm gonna take you upstairs. There's the ladies' room, the men's room over there. Full showers, full lockers, the whole 9 yards.
I told you guys we would do this, right? This is gonna go along with the podcast, and let's take more looks.
So over here, we got our little thing there with Brian McCutcheon, Salty Dog Boxing does this thing.
Oh man, here we go.
So what we got here is the boxing area. We start kids off at 5 years old. Monday, Wednesday, Friday night, 5 o'clock to 6 of the younger kids, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock of the adults. We got older guys, older women, young. Oh, we do it all. If you want to get in shape, mentally, physically, spiritually, this is what we got. So what Brian does, he'll get the kids as they get a little more fans, put them in the ring to give them an idea of how to square up, use their footwork, and a little more competition. While the other group, they'll go shot. While they're doing that, they warm up in here.
Any lights in there, Rocky?
Yeah, they warm up in here.
Okay. All right, guys, you see it. It's right here, man. We're here. We're at the gym. All right, it's Brian. Okay,
Brian is the
Brian.
coach and the owner of Salty Dog.
Hi, Brian. How you doing? My name is Russ from the Russ Show podcast. Nice to meet you. It's going to air on Saturday. I think we're going to be
That's incredible.
I mean, there's nothing,
That's history.
nothing fancy about that gym. That's not fancy.
you'll be able to simply get on with you know about StreamYard, so we'll have you come on, and we're going to run this footage. You and Paul, we're doing right now. Because we can't hear you, and we'll just click right in. This is wonderful. Nice to meet you.
I can tell you about the boxing program.
Very kind.
So how long has the boxing program existed?
Over 2 years now.
We need to have him on next podcast.
You're on the next podcast.
You know, where it
Brian,
really knocked us
Brian,
down.
you
It's hard to
and
get
Paul
fighters
gotta be
to
quiet
train
because
when
they
they
can't
don't
hear
have a
you.
fight coming up.
Hello?
No tournament.
You guys gotta stay quiet for me. We're running the video.
Okay.
But I'm really proud of our group now. We've got the Golden Gloves this summer in August. We have Rumble on the Reservation that the Wampanoags put on every summer. And then we have the Silver Mittens and the Marciano Tournament. So now my kids are determined to work hard. They're working hard. Love to show you what we do.
I can see right now there's some young people down there that look like they're really enthusiastically, going at it, working out. So there's been a big desire to come back and work out and do things. So I can see that's what's going on here. Can you give me any names of any of the fighters who've come out of your gym or your workout?
No, like I said, we've only had dual meets with other gyms. So all of my fighters are still novices, and we're getting their passports lined up now that the tournaments are starting out. But we've done some dual meets up at Boston Boxing with 5 or 6 other gyms from the area, and the last one went really well. And Big John, the trainer at Boston Boxing, said, "Oh, you guys put Salty Dog on the map tonight." So we're looking to show what we can do this summer at the tournaments.
Okay, sounds good. Can we take a little walk in here?
Absolutely.
I know that Rocky was just getting ready to show us this part of the gym.
Real quickly,
All right.
we start our students out on the hand pads. I have 2 other wonderful coaches. We'll start them out on the hand pads to teach them the first combinations, the punches, and then we give them drills to come over here in the bag room and work. So each of these bags, we can do different drills on, and we give our kids a bunch of combinations. Some of them have our 2-fighter drills, so almost all of our fighters are partnered up with somebody about their speed and experience. We teach the proper way to throw hooks on this bag. This is our uppercut bag. We have the 2 speed bags and the heavy bag.
In your experience, you've come from a boxing background yourself?
I did. In the mid 80s, I competed down in Florida. I was a 1986 Florida State champion. After I retired from that, I went into being a sparring partner, and I've been in the ring with 16 world champions as a sparring partner.
Wow.
So during that time, I studied under some of the better coaches and managers in the whole United States, which in the boxing world to me is the world.
And this is really a great, respectful sport. You can see here that you guys have such an incredible setup. I know Rocky was showing me all of the things that were downstairs, coming in, meeting some, great young people. They look like they're really happy to be here, and that's good because, like you said, it's been a while since we've been able to get out.
Yes, sir. Nobody's a bigger part of this community than Rocky. He's been patient, through COVID and all of that. We've come a long way together. He's helping now with some of the kids. Going to show him some stuff downstairs. We have a strength and conditioning coach coming on board. And I have a partner named Susan that I can't pronounce her long last Italian name, but she's wonderful. She grew up training and boxing out of Boston Boxing. So that's how we get there. But we do some dual stuff with Body Glove Boxing in Plymouth, with Dave Gomez in Middleborough, and we're starting to expand to some other gyms.
Okay, hold on. All right, guys, let's go back to Steam. Let's go to us. We're gonna stop that for a minute, and man, I just want to welcome you 2 on. What a nice presentation. I got lots more videos that I'm gonna run that I did when I was there visiting you guys. So Paul, let me just do a quick thing here. Your dad, he was the police chief, Paulino Rodrigues, right?
Rodriques.
Yes.
Rodrigues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So tell me about him, because I think he had a big influence on where you're going now.
Yeah. Well, my dad was not only a police chief, he was the first police chief of color in Massachusetts. He served on the Falmouth police force for probably close to 40, 45 years. But my dad started what they call the PAL, the Police Athletic League Boxing, in Falmouth. And it actually started in Otis Air Force Base. So as kids starting at 5 years old, I started around 5, 6 years old in this program. And it kind of it blew up quickly, where it went into other communities on the Cape, Bourne, Wareham. There were a lot of kids from Hyannis, Terry Crawley, a lot of guys I boxed with during my amateur career that started taking part in this, and it just expanded. And every town started, well, the initiative was to get other communities to start this PAL program. And boxing on the Cape, at one point back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, like Brian said, was really, really, really big. Between Falmouth, New Bedford, and of course, Jason Byers, my boy Jason, and Kippy Diggs and Terry. I boxed with Terry Crawley and that crew, which is a little older than these guys, and Ray Oliveira, Scotty Pemberton, and all these guys from I say New Bedford, Cape Cod, because we're all one. And and some of these guys, they went pro with exceptional careers. Where mine was more amateur career. Sometimes you'd fight 2-3 times a day in a fight, but we fought basically in Fall River at the old Lincoln Park. Boy, am I showing my age now? Lincoln Park up in Worcester, the Worcester Centrum. A lot of the VFW, the halls, memorial halls, veteran halls, and things of that nature. But yeah, my dad started the PAL on the Cape. Jesus, it had to be. I'm 65, so we're talking 70 years ago. Wow, damn, that's a long time. But it's
don't blink.
It's taken over, and thank God, Brian and I hooked up, and Brian is starting a whole new thing. He's bringing it back because there's not many boxing gyms. There was a gym, Mr. Davey Gonzalez out of Howard, which actually boxed with my dad. My dad probably would have been a hell of a champion. I would think he was a hell of a boxer and a football player. Back in his army days when he got out of the army, and he fought, had a very good reputation as a boxer with George Maddox, Davey Gonzalez, and all these guys from the area. But boxing was really big on the Cape. It kind of slowed down recently, and Brian's bringing it back around. So we're bringing it back.
Brian, I have to tell you that what's really moving when I went in to see your gym is because you just don't see a lot of these classic gyms such as yours. The last one that appeared to be that way was with gentleman Nate and let me think of his name. Manny Burgo had a gym in New Bedford on Hillman Street.
Oh yeah, Manny Burgo. Yeah.
Do you know that the footage that I ran a couple of weeks on this show, it was pretty much the last footage of that gym, because shortly after that it was burned. It got burned down.
Wow. Yeah.
So it was really, really a sad affair to see a gym get burned down like that. Whereas you can't get these homegrown, backyard gyms such that you have. This is not, gyms. You don't have to walk in there and it's this big state of the art thing. Nobody really wants to see that all the time. We want to see the local gyms like that, where you get to, and by the way, you had some really great young people again that came in there. You had actually and I think he doesn't mind mentioning, we had a football player's son walk up in there. You could probably mention his name, Brian. Who was that? The football player's son that came up in there.
The one that came in and win with us yesterday.
Yeah.
That was he wasn't a player. He was the coach of the Seattle Sherman.
Right.
Ben Sherman works out here, and his father.
Right.
And one of the girls told me, she said, "Do you know who that is over there?" I said, "Hell no, I don't." And she said his father was what the hell? He's Mike Sherman, the coach for the Seattle Seahawks, and I mean, God, he coached the Seahawks for many years. He comes here. He came in with foundation.
See, we're not too impressed with who walks through the door.
Yeah. I mean, we've had everything. We've had pros. We got hockey players coming in here. We got the Falmouth Commodores coming in here. Yeah. Like we tell them, man, if you ain't at Rocky's gym, you ain't working out.
Yeah, be real or get out.
Yeah, but they come in here. Hey, they come in here and they get our autograph. But you know what's funny? Let me just tell you something real quick. I just got a friend of mine just gave me a shirt from the old Fifth Street gym in Miami. And I remember my wife and I went to Miami. I walked in that gym and this gym right here is in Brian's boxing facility upstairs is like working out on Penzance Point. That gym is the smallest, nastiest, smelliest gym, like Winky Wright, which was a Hall of Famer out of Clearwater, Florida. And I've been in that gym.
You gotta hold your breath.
These gyms that these champions are made from are absolutely horrendous. And I've always said, I mean, like Winky Wright, I mean, million, you know, of course, a millionaire, Hall of Fame boxer. And I always wondered, I said, why wouldn't these guys like invest in a nice gym? And they said, no, this is where we start and this is where we finish.
Well, here's Paul, it's funny you said that, man, because when I was in Miami, I used to go by the Fifth Street gym.
Oh, yes.
And guess what? There was some remnants of it, right? And I was like, and they have a plaque outside that says this was Muhammad Ali. Yep, there it is. Oh, well, you guys should have gave me that when I was there yesterday.
Yeah, the guy just dropped it off.
That was the noise. That was the noise in the podcast. Somebody just walked up and gave us those.
Yeah,
get out of here. You know, let me tell you something. When I was down there, man, I saw the plaque on the corner, and then recently I went on YouTube and they do this little tour through Miami, and I can't believe they took the gym down. And now all it is this, that, you know, they went and propped it up and made a fancy corner building. And there's nothing that says this is the Fifth Street gym. But
really?
I'm glad I got a chance. I'm glad I got a chance to see just a little bit of that gym, what was left. And I guess they just, you know, I don't understand why they didn't just leave it up. They should have put it as a museum or did
you would think so.
You know, so we definitely, you know, I'm glad we're doing this because this is going to be classic here. You guys are going to be there for a long time. You're going to go down and, you know, this Falmouth history, and everyone's going to say, yeah, this is where, you know, both Brian and Rocky were at. And I don't know. I don't understand. You said that you don't, you know, when stars walk through the door, how do you handle this guy who we can't get into all the detail, but because he's a big star now, and him and I know a little bit more about that, but we can't say everything. But this guy here is big. So how do you handle his head now?
He's talking to you, right?
He's talking to me about you.
Oh man, he knows. He keeps me very level. He keeps me down, you know, because Brian's still got a good jab, so I got to respect his jab. So when he tells me chill out, I chill out.
We're family, so we keep each other grounded. And everybody that walks through the door is family.
I'm telling you, you're having fun. You know what it is? It takes somebody from the outside to come in and look at something and go. Because when you're in it, you kind of take it for granted and you forget. Yeah. But if somebody on the outside walks in and sees this, and then they go, wow, look at these guys. Look what they're doing. Your personalities, the way you two click, Brian. You know, I feel like as soon as I walked in there, I knew you, man. I was like, this guy, maybe you remind me of coaches I had. I remember at the boys club. I could see how you would definitely click and the young people would move ahead because, you know, you're there and you're very serious. You know, you've mentioned it, and I could see that a lot of the patrons that go in there, they're not in there fooling around. They're in their serious business working out.
Yeah. You know, again, the universe brought Rocky and I together. We're blessed. We can do good cop, bad cop, or whatever routine we have to do. But, you know, we teach them. And I was telling them last night after you left, you know, this is the time of year it gets tough. It's easy to go to the beach. You know, it's easy to go have pizza with your friends and, you know, dare to be different, dare to put the work in.
Well, Ali used to run on the beach in Miami, so a lot of these guys better realize that in the heat of things, you know, he was working on that cardio, because I'll tell you, I've seen a couple of boxers in the ring, and I used to be a runner. I used to run long distance, and I always found it amazing. Some of the runners that I saw, I'd say, "Do you jog?" And they'd say no, and I said, "How do you get in the ring for these 3 minutes?" Around, and you don't run, you don't get your cardio on? How do you not do that? I mean, you could get your strength on, but if you're not doing your cardio, and I'm talking about, I used to do 7-minute miles and run a good 7 miles like 4 times a week, and I enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved what it was doing for me, and you know, hopefully someday, I don't know if they come out with spring sneakers or something, I can run around. So anyways,
come down here. You can always come down here.
Oh, you know I'm coming, man. I'm gonna put in, and I gotta be honest with you, man. I wasn't always crazy about a gym. I was crazy about it when I was in the boys club, but I've never been really a person who's like would go out and just pump the weights and all. I would do a lot of the natural stuff. I like to be,
right, like you said.
I like to be like, go to the park, get on the ground, hit some push-ups, do some pull-ups. You know, that was kind of, and plus I was on a ship for 5 months, and actually I worked out your way in the Cape and for the state. So I used to have to run and do obstacles and climb and all that stuff. So I know how much fun it is to be out in the Cape. So I got some more video. Let's see if we can go grab that. I gotta get out of this one. Give me a second. I'm just gonna cue it up. Here's one we got over here. Let's do this one. I gotta pause that. Go over there and get to the share button. This thing here. Let's get to the share screen. Share this screen with you guys. Here we go. Let's get that on there. Press the button, make it large. I got to talk about all the technical things while I do this. Here we go. Right here, I'm with Rocky, Paul, Rodriques. Of course, we stopped by. We said we were going to see his gym. All right, we see it. You guys see it?
Yes, sir. We see it, man.
In some of the video, we met Brian, who is the coach, boxing coach. This has been a nice experience. You told me something really important, because we went through a whole bunch of stuff with this COVID. Your gym was the only gym that didn't get COVID?
My only gym, I know we've got about 5 gyms on the Cape, and I know 3 of them in Falmouth. But because of our cleanliness and my OCD, that I have not one case of COVID has been reported coming from my gym since COVID started. And that we're very proud of that. My staff, which I have over here, my cousin, knows how I am. We wipe down the machine. We make sure the people wipe down the machine. If you don't, you got to go. We do not play here at Rocky Gym. We have a safe environment. It's a family gym, and everybody's going to do their part, as we all know. So that's something we're very proud of.
What we're also going to see is some footage. Brian is going to send me some footage. We're going to add it on to this podcast. You'll see it on Saturday. I just can't wait for my fellow actor, SAG actor here. We can't get into detail about stuff right now, but him and I were in a nice little production here. And man, it was the best time. The best times when I like my fellow SAG actor. And this is what's going on. We're going to keep it rolling. So I just want to thank all of you for stopping by, listening to this podcast today. For the Rush Show, we'll see you next time.
Hey, coming at you.
Man, oh man. See that?
Yeah.
Oh, and we had little Nona. Nona came along. She had to be real cautious and careful, but she did. And for a moment, she came in. That's my wife. Everybody's wondering who it is. Nona was a photographer and videographer. She's just right now just trying to take care of some things. And it would have been nice for us to kind of team up on like we did years ago. One would work the camera, one would do the interview, and we did a lot of that stuff. And I'm glad that she had an opportunity to step into the gym, which the first thing she said, man, she walked in the ladies' room, she was like, wow, beautiful, man, beautiful.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll be putting ratings online and telling them how wonderful it was to go up in your gym and let everybody know that, because you can get a lot of different opinions. You get a lot of different opinions.
She's a sweetheart.
And the only way you can really get the truth of the matter is to go up there and visit and see you guys and see what you're doing. And I want to commend you that, I hope that somebody out there is watching this, and if they do some kind of funding or they help or do something, they better step up and come see you and see what you're doing to keep the young people. And I'm, my background, I understand when it comes to different treatments and things, and I've worked in that environment where young people can become very bored and get depressed, start using drugs and alcohol and things like that. We all know where that takes you. It doesn't take you anywhere. You got to come up with a hobby. You got to do something. Boxing is a great sport that keeps you in shape. You don't necessarily have to get in the ring with somebody and get hit, or it's just a good, healthy thing to do. So we want to promote that here on the,
no doubt,
every other show. We have my other co-host who's not here today. He had to do some things. He wrote the book Still Standing about Andre McCoy. You can find it. Charlie Perry wrote the book. Please pick up that book whenever you can. You can find it online. This book gives a history of Andre McCoy and what he did in New Bedford. So I'm sure there's going to be lots of stories that are going to be coming out of your gyms, and I'm sure someone is going to write about that. So someone will definitely step up. But I just want to compliment you guys on your framing here with this beautiful tree that's in the back, because that's a Cape tree. That's definitely.
Oh yeah, you and Falmouth, baby.
That's a Cape backdrop. That's a Cape backdrop. I love
that's
the
an
Cape.
East Falmouth tree. East Falmouth 02536.
Right.
Right.
I go to the Cape. I used to actually ride down that road right next to you with a van with about 8 canoes on the back.
Oh wow.
My job we used to do these expeditions where we would go from place to place. And that was one of my jobs. One of my jobs was basically to take the canoes from town to town in the Cape.
All right.
And, you see why my intro is playing over here. We'll get that off of here. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. We don't know why this little guy is playing here. Hold on. Okay, I see why. All right. So, anyways, we still have more video to play. I'm gonna go over and see if I can grab that. We'll see if we can do it. But so tell me while I'm getting set up for this, what are the gyms that you go to? Because you said that you do make a connection with other gyms, whether in Boston or something.
Yes, sir. The biggest one is, of course, Boston Boxing. 5 years in a row, Massachusetts top gym. They can have an inter-squad night and put on 30 fights. So we go up there for their boxing nights. Like I said, there's 6 or 8 gyms that are representing there. They have a DJ. They have a raffle. They're raising money for addiction centers. And they run just such an incredible gym in general. And the shows are, a great example of that. And, it's really a super place for kids that haven't had that many fights yet to get some exposure, to box in front of a live crowd, to have actual cornermen and referees working it. So my hat's off to Boston Boxing and everything that they do. And, I'm blessed to have 2 coaches. And when I was talking about the people I've sparred with, I was just in camps with a lot of world champions. And I paid attention, and that's where my teaching style came from. But my other 2 boxing coaches, we have completely different styles, and we want everybody to pick some from each of us and, come up with their own recipe of whoop ass. I like that. Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of go on another area for a second, and I just want to know what you think of this, because we've talked about this with other coaches. When a fighter gets in the ring and he gets injured, where do you stand in and say to a young fighter, maybe we need to stop? Or I'll use this phrase, throw in the towel. When do you say, okay, it's time it's time to stop.
Well, you know what? Especially at this stage of their careers, we're not going to let anybody get hurt. We're not even going to wait until, you know, a lot of people there may think so. We'll throw the towel in, we'll towel our fighter off, and he'll live to fight another day. But we're not going to let our kids get hurt. So for me, it's quickly. I'm going to throw the towel in quickly, especially during amateur fights. Later on, you know, that's like a situational thing. We would have to decide. But now there's so much science out there about what repeated blows to the head bring to a person. You know, we're not letting any of our kids get hurt. We teach bully busters. We teach princess warriors. And they all know that we love them as people and kids. And we're in their corners to take care of them. And we're not going to let anybody get hurt.
That's beautiful. That's a good thing, because we have so many in the past. We do have some fighters. I won't make names, but they've been injured, and I see how they've suffered over the years. Some have dealt with drugs, alcohol, different things like that. So head injuries, it's a pretty sensitive thing. But my last guest, Frank Slaughter, who came on, who works in Vegas, he works with Mayweather's youth camp. He actually started a boxer's insurance so that boxers would be able to have a way to take care of themselves if they did get injured, because there was a couple of severe injuries. And I was glad to hear that, there's so much concern in you guys doing the same thing. I just want to ask Paul, we'll pull Paul in for a minute, because I know we can't talk about the current thing that you and I are working on, but we can talk about your involvement with De Niro. You were in a production with De Niro.
Yeah, I worked on the movie Joy with Robert De Niro. I played his mechanic. I also worked with Jennifer Lawrence, which was at movie theaters actually, and it was amazing. He's a very, very, I mean, he's one of the best. He's very self-kept. He's not the kind of guy that you're gonna sit down with and do this interview with. I can tell you that. He's the kind of guy that does his thing and he's gone. Jennifer Lawrence, on the other hand, we became basically friends because I worked with her on Joy for 21 days. I mean, every day, and you're working, as you know, 13, 14, 15, 16-hour days. And then I worked with her. I was gone from the gym here for 30 days almost on Don't Look Up. And it's funny, when we saw each other, I said, "Do you remember me?" And then we started talking. She calls me Cape Boy. She goes, "You're the Cape Boy." So, I mean, I've been fortunate enough. I've been doing this 7 years. I've worked with the top actors in the world. I mean, Mark Wahlberg, Danny Glover, The Rock, Kevin Hart. I mean, so I can go on and on and on. So I've been very fortunate in this business. And now I'm at the point where I pick and choose. I pick and choose what movie I'm going to work on, the amount of days I'm going to do, and whether I'm featured or not featured. So it's been a hell of a career. It's my granddaughter gets a kick out of it because when she has her friends over, she'll say, "Let's go." Gray Lady. I was the leading actor, one of the leading actors in the movie Gray Lady, which I had a ton of speaking parts in. So it's just it's an amazing business, but as you know, it's tough. It's not something made for everybody. It's long hours and repeated scenes. I mean, I'm just waiting for the next thing that comes along. If it sounds good, we do it. If it doesn't, we just let it pass. I've got I've a good rapport with Boston Casting, so they know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, definitely good stuff. Hey, I want to try something for a minute. I know that both of you you're on the phone. Let's turn the camera sideways. Let me see what happens if you turn it sideways.
I think it does.
There we go. Is that better? Oh, that's much better.
You see, I could never be a director. It took too long to get this wonderful picture, which I should have done.
All right. Well, we're here now, baby.
The picture is beautiful.
I did get a laptop. I bought a microphone today.
We just didn't quite get it set up in time, and we didn't want to miss.
Plus, there's only one mic.
Yeah, and we both have pretty big
Well,
mouths.
guess what?
Yeah. So we didn't.
Well, guess
But I
what?
think it works.
The microphone's working really fine for both of you, and I'm really happy that you did what you've done here, man. This really works. And again, your backdrop is great. That's
Yeah.
what's
Beautiful
counting.
6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night. And I mean, what a day! It can't be ugly anywhere on a day like today.
Can you do if let's try this? I don't think we'll mess up the signal. Give us a little slow pan around where you are now. Can you give us a slow pan? This is where we're at. There's the gym right there. Okay. So you have to bring it down just a little bit. That's the entrance. All right. So there's a parking lot. All right. So you got to go sideways with it again.
Oh, okay.
So Brian, go sideways with it. Yeah, and then bring it down. Bring it down a little bit. Bring it down, and then take it to the right. There you go. All right, everybody. There you go. You see the entrance right there, man.
That's
There
where we
it
at.
is. All right.
610 East Falmouth Highway in Falmouth. First boxing lessons are always free. Come see what we do.
Yeah.
Come on down.
We're gonna go back.
Okay, let me get that great picture of you two back again over there. Let's get you sitting down with that nice 2-shot we did.
We'll get better at it, I promise.
We'll get better.
And guess what? You know what? Like I said before, this is not just one time. This is going to be ongoing. We're going to have you guys on. It's going to be, let's just get on here and talk boxing. There's so many fighters. Like I work in a place in a library, so I see a lot of books on boxers, farmer boxers. Like there's like names that just go on and on and on. So tell me about somebody special that you can tell me about that's like so unique that really has not had a voice. Go way back if you want.
Oh,
That hasn't had a voice.
Yeah, tell me about something special about a boxer that just was out there and then they're gone, but there was something special.
no.
A pro? Is he talking about
Yeah.
pro?
I mean, if you're talking during their career, it took Mickey Ward an awful lot of time to get his due, and he kind of got run over by the people that are in charge of boxing. But he didn't really ever, get down about it. He just kept working, kept grinding, and then his last 3 fights were great paydays, and they went on to make a movie about him. Mm-hmm. So for every Muhammad Ali, there's 100,000 guys that just go do it Saturday night under a tent or in the back of a county fair, and they just do it for the love of boxing.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about, you said Marciano. I actually went to his restaurant. I went to a restaurant in Brockton years ago. It was really good food. They had pictures all over the place. Do you have any stories about him? I got a story about him where somebody said he used to actually jog from Brockton to New Bedford. Do you think that's a myth?
Well, I believe it. I'm actually named after him. My name is Paul Rocky Rodriques. That's my legal name. And my dad named me Rocky because, of course, being a boxer and I was born in 56, right around Rocky's time. And because when I was a baby, I used to go like this with my hands for the first 3 weeks. And he nicknamed me Rocky and legally made my name Rocky. Now, what I've heard, of course, and it's too bad, but next time you come here, I've got some original photos of Marciano when he won the championship in the parade. I worked with a guy named Teddy DeSimone. Teddy's mother and Rocky's mother were best friends. Mm-hmm. And in my office, I've got some original photos, Brian will tell you, black and white, of Marciano in the parade in the convertible going down Main Street, Brockton. A quick story that I've heard, because of course I followed up with Rocky Marciano my whole life, was that he used to lie to his mother because his mother hated him, told him, you're not going to box. So he became a football player. And what he would do is he would leave his house with his football uniform, although he was a hell of a football player too. But this is, during the winter or whatever. And he would have his boxing trunks in his bag. So his mother thought he was playing football, but he'd actually be in the boxing, go to the boxing gym, and then turn around after his training, throw his shorts back and get his football gear and walk to the house. But they say Rocky was a hell of a guy. I guess they were brought up in a very, they didn't have a lot of money, and he had a brother. He had a couple brothers and a sister that he used to sleep on the floor. So his siblings could have a bed to sleep in. He used to sleep on the floor.
Jesus.
Yeah, for years. I mean, as a young man, this is before, this is a young kid in high school. But he'd sleep on the floor, so his siblings would have could sleep in the bed. But they said he was unbelievable. His training was crazy.
Let me throw a couple of names in front of you, see, and you tell me. You can follow it up, or if you know or you don't know. Robbie Sims,
The gatekeeper.
There you go.
So, if you want to talk about a boxer, his brother was Marvin Hagler. And Marvin Hagler, you talk about running and road work. He would go to the tip of P-Town in the middle of the winter and run up and down the beach in army boots with a piece of telephone pole on his shoulders. And he would say quite often, it takes a real champion to get out of silk pajamas to run at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Robbie Sims, that's a hard road to follow. You're talking about one of the greatest in history. And so I would think that's a lot of pressure on a young man. And I think he had a great career, always respectful, another one of the good guys in boxing.
But Robbie was no Marvin, that's for sure.
Yeah, nobody is.
It's like Michael Jackson with Tito. I mean, they were hell of a background singers, but they weren't the lead. They weren't the lead.
Here's another one for you, Vinny Paz.
I'm friends with Vinny. Oh, Jesus.
Another movie Rocky was in. Rocky was in I Bleed for This.
Bleed for This. I was in Vinny Paz's movie. I know Vinny from coming down to the Cape when we do Rumble on the Res, which Brian is going to be was part of last year. He was refereeing. Vinny's Vinny. Vinny is a solid, I'm talking about a guy 5'7", 5'8", a little taller than me, that doesn't have an inch of fat on him. But Vinny is Vinny. Vinny's he's a wild dude, man. He's a wild guy. But I'll tell you what, hard. Oh my God, you could split his forehead open with a brick, and he'd keep coming. One of the guys that he fought, I think it was when he fought Roger Mayweather. Said, if he didn't, Roger ended up beating him for the championship. Roger said if he didn't, by the 11th round, he was thinking about getting a gun and shooting him. He said the guy just
doesn't stop coming.
Vinny Paz is just one of those tough dudes. Not the best fighter, but I'll tell you what, exciting and had hot. He had hot. He was a nut.
Never took a backward step.
Let me see if you remember this guy. He fought Larry Holmes, Paul Poirier.
I remember Paul Poirier. Paul Poirier was he was a journeyman. He fought
Larry Holmes, and I think he had to get out in the 3rd round.
Larry Holmes knocked him out. Paul Poirier was
No, I don't think he got knocked out by him. I think he broke his rib.
I know Larry Holmes jammed him up. Paul Poirier, he had a very short career. Paul Poirier was, look at.
So what happened? I'll tell you this. I'll tell you a short story about it because I knew him in high school. In high school, he was a heck of a fighter. He went all the way up for years. Everybody knew him. He's on his way champion, and then at some point he quit because of a religious desire, which is no secret. And then he tried to come back when he was 40 years old. I saw him at a advertisement thing going on in my city at a tire company where Marvin Hagler was promoting what's called McCleary's Tires, and I was with a radio station. So I went up there, and with a bunch of reporters up there, we got to ask Marvin questions. As a matter of fact, Marvin pointed at me and said, I want him to ask the question. And I was like, wow, man, that was like one of my first stories. And Marvin pointing at me, and Marvin said, I want you to do the story. So long story with Paul, I went outside and I was looking on the other side of the street, and Paul was standing behind a tree. And at the time he had his daughter with him. And I walked up, and I knew him from high school. I said, Paul, what do you think of all this? The limo and everything else. It was at the time when he had quit. And he said, and I could see it. He was just burning him, man. It was burning him like, I got to do this again. I got to do this again because the hype behind it was unbelievable. And just to tell you a little short story, when I was DJing at a local station, I was a radio disc jockey, and one day I was sitting on my porch in New Bedford, and a lady drove by in a car and jumped out and gave me a flyer, and it was actually a flyer that was just like drawn. It was a drawn flyer, and it said Larry Bird, Liz Walker, Marvin Hagler. All these people were on it in a sketch. And I said, well, what's this for? And she said, well, my brother Marvin is having a fashion show in Brockton. And I said, your brother Marvin, who are you? She says, I'm Veronica Hagler. And I said, ma'am, excuse me, wait 1 second. I ran in the house and I came out with a nice picture. I'll show you guys next time we're on, of me and Marvin. And I got a nice photo with him. She said, you got a photo with my brother? She says, give me your phone number. And then about a half hour later, she's calling me and saying, Russ, we know you do the DJing. We want you to come and be a DJ for the fashion show in Brockton.
Wow.
Let me tell you, I was so excited about this. I went in the house and I didn't realize that I didn't have any DJ equipment, but I called her back. She said, Russ, you don't bring anything but yourself. We already know what you play. We want to hear the R&B, Earth, Wind, and Fire, all that nice music.
Right.
I went there and I didn't have to set up anything. All I had to do was just put the records on the player, and they ended up filming it in Brockton. So it was a pretty good opportunity for me to jump in there, and that's where I got that little connection. But man,
I don't remember Paul being. I mean, maybe he was a champion. I just don't remember his career being at the top. Top 10 fighter. I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he might have been a great fighter. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying no, but in the rankings, I don't remember him being a top 10 heavyweight.
Mm-hmm. I have a question, and I know Brian stepped away for a minute. Maybe you can.
Yeah, he just went to get a water.
Maybe you can answer this question for me because I knew a local boxer, and he one day said to me, he was old school boxer. He said, you can actually, there's been some boxers that can knock somebody out without even putting their hands on them. So he did this thing where he put his hands up and he did this motion like an S shape. Brian's back. Brian, I'm talking about an old school boxer that said there was a technique where he did this sort of S shape, come from the bottom, almost like a Tyson thing. And he said that it would actually give a vertigo on a boxer, and he wouldn't have to put his hands on it and knock him out. What do you think of that?
I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, no, neither am I.
I've seen
I've never
Tyson,
known a guy get knocked out without getting hit.
I've seen Tyson do this thing with his head where he goes down low and does an S shape. So what it does is it does this vertigo thing in front of your eyes. It gives you a few seconds where you get off of your focus and you get hit. Whether that's a myth or not, I always found that pretty interesting. What do you think?
It's crazy how much time a few seconds can be in the ring.
Yeah.
So if I was going to guess, it would be Floyd Patterson, who also learned that peekaboo from Customato.
Okay.
But that's a guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So what do you think? What do you think of the stories about Liston? What do you think about Liston? If you had to teach somebody anything and Liston's name came up, what would you say?
Tough. Oh, he was tough. I saw him in person in Plymouth when he was training at the White Cliffs. Actually, he was skipping rope. My sister and I, my dad took us, and he was training. I forget for what fight. And anyway, we were sitting down on the floor, and the sweat was hitting us. And he looked over. My sister never forgets it. And he looked over at my sister. He was jumping rope, and he winked at her. We must have been 7, 8 years old. Maybe a little young. Me, probably about 7, 8 years old. Mm-hmm. And Sonny Liston, he had I don't know how true it is, with the mafia and throwing fights and all that. I don't know about all that. But he was a tough dude. He could hit. Could he hit. And, the Sonny Liston that I want to remember was a hell of a fighter, was a hell of a champion. And then everything after that, I don't know. I wasn't there. And, they try to ruin his reputation. Actually, Brian could probably. What do you think about that?
Well, I think there was definitely some mob influence on him.
Yeah.
I also think he was shocked by Muhammad Ali because every boxer he had faced up to that point was scared to death of him.
Yeah, right.
And Ali wasn't scared of him or anybody else.
Right.
And when they had Ali take his title, think of where they had that fight. They had it in Lewiston, Maine.
Yeah.
In an armory building or something where there would be the fewest reporters.
Right.
And, you didn't have the instant cameras, everybody walking around with a camera, and it wasn't live, live broadcasted. So basically all anybody heard was that Ali had knocked him out in the first round.
Right. Yeah. That was crazy. Yeah.
So I had this great moment in Baltimore years ago where I went to Sugar Ray Leonard's retirement, and Sugar Ray Leonard only charged $1 for the citizens of Baltimore to go see, and everybody was included there. You had Ali, you had Cosell. I remember Cosell.
Yeah.
Ali was walking along the floor. I snuck down onto the arena and ran across a bunch of chairs and grabbed Ali's shoulder, which, man, I couldn't believe how huge he was. He was moving from side to side. I mean, it was just unreal. I mean, and then if you saw Sugar Ray Leonard and Sugar Ray Leonard was walking towards me, you would think that he was just about our height,
Yeah, he's a little boy.
But guess what? When he turned around and walked away and you saw the back, he was built like Bruce Lee. He was nothing but a V.
Yeah, right.
Nothing but a V shape. So
he was a great champion.
I say that with a lot of respect that, sometimes people don't realize that, these guys, and going on that too, I just wanted to say that, there's that super respect about your gym that when people go in there, they show a very respectful way. I've seen on YouTube in some cases where some people have walked up in the gyms and, they figured that they were going to be really badasses and, maybe call on someone and figure they're going to be bullying and acting like that. And I could see that your gym being a family gym that you said, and I want to bring this up. You said that seniors can also go to your gym too.
Oh yeah, we got a guy 86 years old that comes here he's here every day, 86, 82 years old. We got seniors. This is a family gym. Everybody respects us. We don't have any problems. We don't have people walking around with their shirts off. That's not allowed here. People just, they respect each other. There's no argument because we wouldn't deal with that. Brian and I would physically throw him right out through the door without opening it. And I've never had any problem. Yeah, he'll hold it. I'll throw. But we don't have that here. People know they come here. It's a family gym. It's respectful. We have women, just like his boxing. I mean, it's nothing but love. When they come in here, they're family. They're part of the family. Right. So that's one thing about our gym. We don't do a contract here. We do $25 a month. Brian does his boxing. He gives a free class to come. And we don't do contract. We tell people, we want you here, but we want you to be here. If you don't, then you're not in the right gym. Go down to Planet Fitness or go somewhere else because we only want people that want to be here. That's why we don't do a contract. We don't do contracts here.
But it's definitely, and with all that, I mean, it's definitely that feeling there that you have that, and that's what wins over. You win over the big. How can I say?
The big franchises.
Yeah, exactly. The franchises just don't have that. And
no, they don't do that. They don't have that. But you know what we do here, and Brian can attest to this. We worry about Rocky's gym. We don't worry about what Jim is doing up the street in there. We worry about what's happening here. He's got these kids off the streets. He's got the only thing going on around here right now. And it's amazing. The kids with low self-esteem or the kids that get a little cocky in class, the parents drop them off. Brian tells the parents, see you later. We'll see you in an hour. You're not going to stay here and babysit your kid while you're here. Bye-bye. And then they send them down to me and I say, well, for $25 a month, you can get a membership. So we work together. We're like Brian and I are like brothers now. And we work together. I help him. I promote him. He promotes me. We promote each other. But it's all for the same reason. To help people.
help our wonderful community.
Whether you're 5 years old and you're 90, you're coming in here. We want you to live our reputation. See, when you get these big franchises, they don't want you to go there because they want to hit you for $20 a month and boom, 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 and not worry about the money's coming. We want results. We want you to come in here and 10 pounds later or 20 pounds later or mentally more stable or more, we want you to go back and say, when people, you're at Walmart and they say, oh my God, you look good. Or boom, well, I go to Rocky's gym. I go to Salty Dog Boxing.
Yep. And you have, yep.
We're not getting
and you have,
we're not going to
Rocky,
get rich here, but I'll tell you what, we're going to help people.
Rocky, in the gym.
Another part of the community.
I'm sorry, we lost your voice just for a second there. I don't know if it's because you moved, but it kind of went away a little bit. So you were saying, just repeat what you said, Rocky, because when you bat your head off,
what we want to do, we're not getting rich in this business, but what we are doing is helping people. I mean, we got parents that come up to Brian all the time and say, oh, my kid's doing better in school. And what they do, Brian is such a great coach, and Susan, that is kind of like, we got the kids like on a hook, because what they do, they come in, the parents will say, oh my God, my boy loves boxing, boom, 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 boom. So what happens is if his grades start dropping a little bit, the parent tells the kid, okay, well, you don't bring those grades up, you're not going to boxing. And believe me, those grades come up. But I've seen kids come in here that wouldn't let go of their mother when they walked in the door. Now they're walking in here and giving me dirty looks. You know what I mean? Oh man, and it's amazing. And I mean, whether they're big, we got some kids here that Brian tuned up and gave him a good punch in the mouth and said, okay, now let me know when you're ready to come in here and do what I tell you to do.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
We believe in this community so much. And I think there's a large portion of people that in Falmouth or this area will say, hey, I'm not going to fight you. But let's go down to Rockies. Let's get in the ring.
Yeah, right.
You know, with somebody overstanding us. Not, if you punch me in the mouth, I'm going to go get my gun.
Right.
You know, guns down, hands up. Come down here and do it like men.
Right, right.
Yeah. That, things have changed so much. And I grew up in that era. That's why, I respect what you guys are doing. Having grown up in the boys club and you had something on the wall which says, fear
respect all, fear none.
Yeah.
Respect all, fear none.
Respect all.
So that's your,
that's our motto. And I got to thank my wife, Kathy, because when I met Kathy 17 years ago, she was a track star from New Britain, Connecticut, hard-hitting New Britain. I saw that shirt, and I said, where did you get that? She said, that's our track shirt. She said, because they told us before, you respect everybody, but you fear no one. And I said, can I have that logo? And she gave me that, and we've had it since for 17 years. And I went to when my wife was brought up, and I'll tell you one thing. These people around here don't even want to go there, because I went there, and I was like, I was like, get me out of here.
That's my old hometown, New Britain, Connecticut, New London.
New Britain. That's where Kathy's brought up.
I'm an old Connecticut. My
God. Hard-hitting New Britain.
My father was in the Navy there, so
hard-hitting New Britain, right?
We did a lot of tree forts and go-karts and stuff.
I went to the projects where the Puerto Ricans were.
That's the area. That's the upbringing I had, man. So
she's a tough guy.
When I go out to the Cape, it brings that feeling. The way everything's laid out, it's kind of similar to the neighborhood I grew up in. But hey, we're here. We're here. I've been in New Bedford for years. My family's from here. These Creoles. My grandfather was a whaler. He came from Cape Verde to be a whaler, and that's what he did. I can't tell you guys, if you do get a chance, you'll have to watch the PBS special Into the Deep, whereas I play a whaler on a ship. I can mention that.
Wow.
It's been so long. It's been almost 8 years. It's actually still riding. It's in Europe now. So they're still pushing that along. But
it was a great book.
Yeah, Into the Deep, man. The Essex. That's the Essex in Connecticut, man.
Brian knows that.
Yep. So I want to thank you two guys for coming on the show. I know you got things you got to go, man, and I want to appreciate you for being patient yesterday and waiting for me to get up there. As you can see,
Well, we
you know,
appreciate you.
I got to do things a little bit at a time, but
Yep.
man, as far as I'm concerned, you know, we're all family now. When I have opportunities to call you on, please come on to the show. And,
Oh yeah, you got
we'll
that,
talk
man.
more on boxing. We'll talk more on boxing or just anything. We're
Talk about life, baby.
Try to learn, and I'm down for learning from you two gentlemen.
Yeah.
And you got wisdom, and you know, I definitely enjoyed being around you yesterday. So I just want to let you know that.
Maybe next time we'll come up that way. Yeah, man.
Okay. All right.
I didn't make it to Izzy's today with my mother. She didn't want to get up.
You didn't call me. You didn't tell me about it. You didn't want to know.
Well, she didn't want to get up, and I got mad, and I said, boom. Then I started seeing traffic, and I told her, okay, go back to sleep, then.
But we do go over the bridge.
We do go over there. Hey, what we'll do, I'll tell you what we'll do, because I promised Brian last time I didn't make it. I talked to my wife. Next time they got the Boston boxing show there, they have food there, donation. You throw donate. We'll invite you up there. I'm staying overnight. I ain't driving home no 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. No, we don't do that anymore. Brian, I just want to tell you, both of you, Nona says thank you very much.
Yep.
Appreciate both of you. So
peace, love, and soul, brother.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, God bless. Tell the wife we said give her our best and thank her.
We have a lot of respect for what you're doing, and we'll do anything we can to help.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Respect all.
Right. Take care. Hey, hold on to my Fifth Street Gym T-shirt.
Oh, I got you, baby. I'll put it right on my shoulder. I got you. God bless you, brother.
What? Take care.
All right, later, bro.
Bye-bye. All right, man, that was so good. I enjoy that. That's fun. I can't believe they got a Fifth Street Gym T-shirt. You got to understand, Fifth Street Gym, when I was in Miami, that was like classic. I got a chance to see just a little bit of the gym before they took it down. And then all of a sudden, boom, you know, the whole thing is just gotten taken away. But I want to thank all of you guys for, you know, tuning in, checking out Mike Samail, Roy, Rosso, thank you. Great artist, man. Everybody's going to see his artwork pretty soon. We got some more cool things lined up coming up. We'll see what we can do. And don't forget to check out Charlie Perry and myself on Tuesday nights, WNB1 Radio. Let me see if I can get that in the screen there. WNB1 Radio from Tuesdays, 6 to 9. We're playing some R&B music and doing a whole bunch of cool things. So this is what we do to keep ourselves busy. Until then, everybody take care. This is Russ saying goodbye. Thank you for joining us and have a good evening.